Oh, boys and girls, today I want to talk to you about something that I've seen a lot over the years doing therapy with people and chatting to people. I call it the Oprah Reality Tunnel. The Oprah Winfrey Reality Tunnel is mirrored by something that Zizek occasionally accuses people of. He calls it playing the beautiful soul. So if you enter the Oprah Winfrey Reality Tunnel, or if you play the beautiful soul, what happens is you act like reality isn't reality and you start spouting idealizations. The Oprah Winfrey Reality Tunnel is an idealized, romanticized reality tunnel that I'd love to see Zizek analyze, actually, because it's one of these things that has an implicit doctrine and an ideology that the person who is espousing it, Oprah Winfrey, and her followers, the women who consume it, neither of them believe in it, but it exists as an ideal that makes them feel good. It just makes you feel good. Louis C.K. Does a bit in his stand-up comedy where he calls these his believies. He has beliefs that, as he describes it, he says, I have beliefs that I do fuck all with. I do nothing with them, but I like to have them. They're my believies and they make me feel good. The Oprah Winfrey Reality Tunnel is constructed of believies. It's constructed of ideals and ideas that allow the people believing in them, role-playing believing in them, that allows them to play the beautiful soul. It allows you to come from a position of kind of an implicit moral superiority. When people play the beautiful soul, when people enter the Oprah Winfrey Reality Tunnel, they even start to talk a little bit like Oprah. The voice tonality changes and they're talking in a certain way that's like, this is who I am. You know, I'm perfectly self-aware. I'm sane and healthy. It's you that has the problem. And I've seen people do this in coaching. It's actually a way of creating distance from the coach and from stopping the therapist from getting down to the core issues. Because for some people it's very difficult for them to admit that they have core issues. For some people it's very difficult to sort of open up and let another person inside and see these things that they see as weaknesses. I never frame them as weaknesses. I'll refer to them as either software faults or issues. They're not weaknesses, they're just things that happen to be there that need to be changed, that need to be removed. Be careful of the Oprah Winfrey Reality Tunnel, and bear in mind where it's coming from. Oprah Winfrey was sexually abused as a young girl, and she was, by her own admission, very, very promiscuous, which is a common thing. You know, she was damaged in the area of her being related to her sexuality, and in an effort to try and regather control over it, she maybe became trauma bonded to having sex. And I think she actually had a child when she was just 14, and that child died. There is an obsession I've noticed in her, in Oprah Winfrey, with this kind of thing, with sexual relationships, and there is an obsession with hyper-idealizing it. I've been asked to do videos about psychopaths and psychopathology and sociopaths, and I will do that. One of the things that is commonly noticed about psychopaths, I don't actually believe in the framework of psychopaths. I don't find it all that useful. I tend to think of people as being, you know, criminal predators or emotionally manipulative types or narcissists. I prefer to talk in those terms, but they fall into the same kind of, when we're talking about psychopaths, we're talking about the same thing. One of the things that psychopaths are known for doing, and narcissists are known for doing, is idealizing. Idealizing lifestyles, truths and philosophies that they don't actually live themselves at all. And it drives me a bit mad, and it doesn't help you. It was actually, this has been floating around in the back of my head for a long time. It was comments by YouTube user Miss60 that made me write her a long comment back, and that made me want to record this video, because I wanted to be clear. It's not ad hominem, I'm not having a go at Miss60. I'm having a go at something that she said. When people start using the word should, and they make statements like, men and women should just be equal and supportive and loving in relationships, my response to that is, and? Why would you say something so obvious? What is the point of what you're saying? Yes, they should, but they don't. The point is that they don't. So it's actually a way, it's a strategy of maintaining a position of moral superiority, because the implicit What you're implying is, well, in my life, this is how it works. And as a therapist, I say, no, it isn't. So why would you adopt that? Why would you go there? Why would you start espousing these believies that you're not living? What's the point? You're actually distancing yourself from the work. You're actually distancing yourself from actually engaging with something that could be really useful and really powerful and could move you forward. One of the things that was said that is a purely Oprah Winfrey reality tunnel, apart from men and women should just be respectful and loving and support each other, which is an obvious statement, why would you bother making it? It would be like having a political debate and then saying, hey, everybody should just get along, let's all disarm and work together to unite humanity and feed every man, woman and child and educate them all on the planet and make the world a fucking living heaven. Yeah, we should do that, but we don't do that, and we're not going to be fucking doing it anytime soon. So it's a way of not really engaging with the core topics. So men and women should be loving and supportive of each other. It's a non-statement. You're not actually saying anything there other than I am a beautiful soul who believes in love, and it, you know, I promise you, it's not personal. I'm not personally having a go at you. I'm reflecting back and saying, be careful. You're avoiding the issue in your own life and in yourself, and it's actually, this is a self-indulgence. You're saying something that you've not lived it. You know, the other thing that you said was, if you meet the right person, TM, then none of this will matter. You know, if you've just not met, people keep saying that to me. It drives me fucking crazy. Particularly women keep saying it to me. You've just not met the right person yet. I'm like, get the fuck off me. I'm not sat here trying to get into a relationship. People, you know, women will start a conversation with me about relationships, and it'll usually be, why are you single? Why haven't you got a girlfriend? And I'll start talking about relationships and my experiences, my beliefs, and engage them in a conversation. And they'll just say, you know what it sounds like to me? You just haven't met the right person yet. I'm like, really? Really? That's super helpful. Thanks. Tell me more about meeting the right person. Who is this? Who is that right person? Look, it's like this. There are fundamental problems right now in this reality. Not some airy, fairy, lovely reality out there. This fucking reality. With the way that men and women are communicating with each other. We got problems. They need attacking, they need engaging with. We've got to get down in the fucking dirt and just hash this stuff out. Can't avoid it. Idealizing it isn't going to help. It just pushes it away. There is no right person. I got news for you kids. There's no fucking right person. There's no such thing as the one. You know, we've all been brainwashed by Disney to some degree. And I always, when I'm talking to girls and to boys have fucking internalized this one as well. Sometimes I'm talking to them and I can hear the song from Snow White, Someday My Prince Will Come. And people have this implicit belief, if I just live right, then I'll be rewarded one day. If I just keep waiting, then I'll be rewarded one day. I've got news for you kids. Nobody gives a shit. You're on your own. Now, that sounds harsh and it might be hurtful, and at first you might feel sad. I'm not trying to hurt you. I don't want you to feel sad. There's two sides to that coin. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody's coming to save you. I have to say this in therapy to people, not all the time, but half the time. Because I can see it in them. There is this sweaty, neurotic belief, somebody's coming. Nobody's coming. Nobody is coming. Nobody's coming to save you. It's you. You're on your own. Horrible, harsh, it makes me feel bad. That makes me feel icky. Okay, let me show you the good side of that. Nobody can stop you either. There is no legal fucking sanction somebody can place upon you to stop you in your personal development. Nobody can stop you from seeking happiness in however you want. Only really you. You only have to work within the limitations of what you want. You're totally free. And that's a huge burden. A fucking huge burden. We have so much choice nowadays. It's burdensome. But I try and see that as a good thing. You know, nobody's coming to save you, nobody cares. But the flip side of that, the good side of that, is you can do whatever you want and it won't matter. Do whatever you want. So do what you want to do. And though it harm no other, as long as you're not harming anybody else, and though it harm no other, do what thou wilt. Just get out there and do it. But there is no right person. what the brain is craving for, and this is a software fault inside the brain, inside the mind, is we crave conclusions. Marshall McLuhan said, the medium is the message, and he was a very bright chap. I got to Marshall McLuhan through Terence McKenna, and I don't really know that much about him. I just know the core concept was that he said the medium is the message. So when we started to read books, when we created and read and propagated books and gave them to each other and wrote them and shared them, we were actually creating a template by which to view reality. Beginning, middle, end. This chapter closes, the next chapter begins. You've talked like that, I've talked like that. They're in our linguistic phraseologies. You know, oh, that chapter of my life ended and then a new chapter began. There is no chapter, there is no book. You're not living a book, you're not living a film. It's just life. But these, as Marshall McLuhan would say, if the medium is the message, the way in which you're receiving the message becomes part of the message itself. Like these YouTube videos, okay? There is an implicit message to the medium by which you're getting them, which I have to be careful of. So we're living realities based on certain templates. And certain stories and certain narratives, and one of these dangerous narratives is one day my prince will come. Let's call it the one day my prince will come reality tunnel, and it works for guys as well. You could call it one day my princess will come, and it's a Disney fiction. Life is not a Disney story. Life isn't going to play out like that. Life is more like one of those weird fucking art house films where the characters who were most affable, who you love the most, die horribly halfway through the film's even finished. You know, that's what life is like. It's like a tragic comedy, but bizarre and odd and slightly bewildering, and by the end of it you'll be going, what the fuck just happened? I didn't even really, what? So please don't idealize, please don't propagate myths like men and women should just love each other. Okay, yeah, that's, yes, men and women should just love each other, but they don't. We're all stuck in certain phases of the cycle of exploitation. There does seem to be, there is a battle of the sexes going on. I might not like it, you might not like it, but there it is, it's out there. People are trying to get what they want from each other, and we're using each other like things. I'll upload another video about by Terence McKenna about this culture that we live in, this brand of capitalism that we live in, where everybody reduces everybody else to a resource because the medium is the message. That is how we think now, and it's very hard to break out of that. And you'll see it through internet dating, to porn, to the way in which we talk about each other, to the way in which we think about each other, you know, and it's not just sexual relationships. All relationships end up becoming reduced to, what can I get from you? What's in it for me? The other thing that Miss 60 mentioned was that nobody should ask the question of a marriage, where is the advantage in this for me? She said it's unhealthy. She said no healthy person would ask that. Again, boys and girls, be careful of imposing an implicit doctrine on any relationship, on any communication. If you say to somebody, by asking me that question, it proves that you don't love me. By asking me that question, it proves to me that you're not ready for a long-term relationship. By asking me that question, it proves that you're emotionally immature or you haven't done the work. Be careful. Be careful, because you're making certain things taboo. And there's nothing unhealthy about asking the question, what's in it for me? It's abusive to imply to somebody, you may not ask that question. That's what we call a double bind. You need to go and look up my video on Gregory Bateson's double bind theory of schizophrenia. You're creating a double bind. Don't ask that question. We're going to get married. Why? Don't fucking ask me that question. It's not allowed that you should ask me that question. Or if there's something I want from you, and I just assume that's the way it's going to be, and then you say, but I don't know if I want to give you that. Well, if you loved me, you would. You see what I'm doing? I'm binding. I'm double binding. So you love me, don't you? Yes. Well, then don't ask me that fucking question again. Oh, okay. So be very, very careful with imposing implicit doctrines, and be very, very careful of the tendency to want to play the beautiful soul, to exist in this Oprah Winfrey reality tunnel. Don't pretend, don't front that that's your life. Who are you trying to kid? you might get a little ego buzz because you've presented a certain way of being on the internet or within an argument. It's like these people on forum posts, when people are arguing, and then some divvy will come along and say, hey guys, can't we all just get along? It's not about resolving the argument. It's not about actually engaging. It's about that, not what Miss 60 said, but that as an example of playing the beautiful soul is actually just about pure self-indulgence. It's saying, I am morally superior to you people who are arguing. Look at you kids arguing with each other. It's like, no, you shouldn't do that. All you're doing, you're not contributing, you're not giving anything, you're taking a nasty little high, a little ego buzz that makes, I feel all good about it now. So yeah, be very, very careful with this type of thing. There was another element of the Oprah Reality Tunnel I wanted to mention, but it's fallen out of the back of my head. I'm feeling a bit sick today, to be honest. Anything where people are idealizing relationships in a way that is not part of their experience, or idealizing life in a way that is not part of their experience, you've got to call yourself out on your own bullshit. Call yourself out on your own BS. Don't believe in your own BS, your own belief system. Don't believe in anybody's belief system too much, and be careful of these pitfalls and these traps, because they'll keep you locked in. They'll feel good for a second. You'll go, I feel good. I'm presenting an idealized version of reality, and the ego feels like, I wish that were true, and it could be true, and that's my little believey, and you've basically just had a wank in the other person's face. You've just got hold of their face, said, hold still, I'm gonna, there we go, I just had a wank in your face. And you've not done anything, you've not offered anything, you've not changed anything, you've just had a little masturbate. Which you should do in private. You don't need other people to be like human dildos for you. Right, that's it for today. I'm gonna go now. And so if you've got any further questions, ask me. I'm sick. You can ask me questions, and I'll try and answer them as soon as I can, because I'm not working at the moment. I'm off sick. So thanks very much, and I will speak to you again soon.